A very good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to everyone on frequency. We wish to wish all the fathers a very happy Father's Day, and hence we don't see too many guys on the net today, so it'll be quite a short net, but it's going to be fun. As usual, we wish to thank the Qatar Satellite Company for allowing us the opportunity to be part of their satellite, although with an amateur satellite, of course. Happy to also mention the BATC and, of course, AMSAT DL and AMSAT UK. Those are organizations that if you do want to know more about DATV and amateur television, you can go on to any one of those sites and you will pick up an enormous amount of information. On the list today, let's just see if that works. We have Peter, a Golf Whiskey 7 Bravo Zulu Yankee, to pass it to Phil, a Mike 0 Papa India Tango, then to Martin. Martin, I hope you're going to demonstrate your clap test. And then, of course, hello to you, Matt, and hello to Uhan. And there are a number of other guys, Taji. We wish to wish everyone a very warm welcome today. Also to Nigel Reeve, he's away. And of course, Phil is away as well. And Brian is in Spain, I understand. So everyone's away. But anyway, let's have a short but nice afternoon. Leon's at his sister's for the afternoon, so he's not available. But anyway, be that as it may, we're going to have a shorter net, but it's going to be equally fun. Hello to Johan as well, ZS6 Juliet Papa Lima. I hope Johan comes up soon. He says he's almost there. I know he's been on his own receivers for some time. So Johan, I hope you got things sorted, old friend. And Matt, I hope we're going to see that new amplifier today. That's going to be great. So with that, I just want to see who else might have joined us on the net. Nobody else. Peter, will you kindly take it? GW7BZY from Zulu Sierra 6, Yankee, India.
Okay, GW7BZY. Hopefully in. I've not got a picture for myself yet, but I'm sure that others will be, hopefully. Oh, there we go. I think audio. Okay. There we go. Audio. Yeah, we've got audio. Yeah, GW7BZY. Long time away. I think it's been a few weeks since I've been on. Working as usual, and other things, etc. as anybody has this time of year. So I think not a lot done this end as far as amateur television is concerned. It all works, so while it works, it's left alone pretty much. Although the computer, the receive out open tuner doesn't work anymore, and none of the versions do. The one of the earlier ones with the blue spectrum display works, but the chat doesn't. None of the chats do, and the latest version doesn't open. It opens the black text page, but the rest of it doesn't work at all. So now I'm back to scan and tune from Mini-Tune Express, which I'm hoping will work. So I don't know what I'm going to do when and if that fails. But there we are. this is what I'm doing this side. What have I been doing? I've been out playing with my camera, really. That's what I've been doing. A few years ago I made a bit of an animated video. I thought I wanted to make an animated video. It was quite easy to do because, well, relatively, you don't have to go out and do stuff. And you just do it at home on the computer, so that occupied some evenings. But I thought this year I'll go out and actually film something, or video it, whichever you want to say. So production is in hand. So I've been taking the gear out. Anyway, I got some audio now. So I took my camera out, and I think Canam Railway is going to be the object of my attention this year. I don't know about title for said video, but I was thinking of a Great Train Ride, but I've seen the price of it. It's more like Great Train Robbery, so I don't know. But anyway, I won't go on the train to the last bit to get some inside shots. I think it's going to be a very expensive experience, and I don't like to spend money, but I think it's going to be unavoidable. That's just Dinas Station for those who interested, and the train arrived on time, so obviously better than British Rail or whatever it's called these days. But there we are. So I shall be chasing the train around, which is good fun because it goes around my local area and up on the mountains, up towards Waynvow, and then across all these places that you probably never heard of or don't need to know about. But that's for the plan for this summer. Hopefully I'll have it done in a few months maybe, but as it is I can only go one shot a day. I want to get plenty of B-roll and background before I spend money on the ticket, so in case I get bored doing it, it won't be any loss, rather than starting at the expensive end and working your way backwards. But there we are. That's my activity. That tripod you saw there, that was rubbish. That's a horrible tripod, so I can't really move the camera. I could zoom it backwards and forwards, but if you touch the camera it wobbles, so it always makes it jitter. So I've got a new technique by limitation, and which is always the best way. So there we are. That's what I've been doing. So I've gone off the screen, so I don't know whether I'm dropping power. Anybody else can see me, but I'll just dib up the signal. There we go. I can see myself again. So yeah. Weather here is a little overcast. I was outside painting. I painted most of my house last month. All the sides that face the road, naturally, but the side that doesn't, I left. So I'm going to do that tomorrow, hopefully, weather permitting. So I did paint some a little bit today. So I'm not in the too bad books of the wife. The wife's gone out, gone to visit her mother in the old people's home, the old home. Don't have a son really. Didn't make it full term on that particular wife, and I haven't really done it again. So, well, not having a kid, but so none that call me daddy, put it that way. So I've got none. No Father's Day. I feel left out, don't I? But there we are. What else have we got to say? Not a lot. Looking forward to hearing what you've got your synchronizing software or clap detector, Martin. I heard a little bit earlier and I thought, oh, that sounds interesting. And I'm sure my lips aren't synced. It did appear to be synced last time I looked, but by now I think it's probably wandered off. I think OBS and vMix have something in common. Not to such an extent, because you don't really get a massive delays. It's only a few frames, maybe 9 frames at most. And what is that? That's 25 milliseconds, is it? I'd guess. No, it won't be 25. 40 milliseconds equals 1 frame. So yeah, maybe 70 milliseconds. But anyway, enough that you can tell. This is GW7BZY. Over to, I think it's Martin. I don't know. I haven't got the list, to tell you the truth, out and open. But this is GW7BZY. Over to the group. Oh, okay. So there we go. No message that is relevant.
Good afternoon, everyone. Have I got sound? Yeah, I've got sound. I'm in the middle of a bit of a thunderstorm here, so my receive level is probably about 4 dB down at this point in time, and it's raining hard. No lightning or thunder as yet. Gary, thank you for hosting the net. You know, I really enjoy coming on the net. It's a bit difficult for me at times, but yeah, I really enjoy it. Thanks, Gary. Beta, cost of train fares. I've been away, and I took a train from Lviv to Kiev, which is the fast train. It's an 8-hour journey. That set me back all of £18, and it was first class. God knows what it would have cost in this country, but there you go. What have I been up to? Well, I've been away, as I said. I haven't been on the air because my potty, for the second time, detuned itself, and I think I've got to the bottom of it, having taken it off, etc., etc. I found that the reflector at the back had actually, the solder joint had fractured, so I had to resolder it, which was not a pleasant experience, because as it's made up, the active element has to be supported, etc. It was not very pleasant. I've managed to do it, and I think it is okay now. My level seems to be pretty good, so I'm hoping it stays there and it won't detune itself. Anyhow, more interesting things. When I was on here last or the time before, I said I was going to go down and do a video of Colossus, because the one that I had done was in portrait mode and it was actually useless. So what I did, I went back down there and I took a little bit of video, so I hope you enjoy it. It probably goes on for about 8 minutes, so it's not too long. Anyhow, let's click on it and let's take it away. Right, there it is. That's Colossus. I'm part of the rebuild team. I joined the project in just before 2000, and it took us 14 years. It started in 94 and we finished it in 2008. It's the first digital electronic computer. It's not stored program, but it does use true logic to actually do the processing. And it's designed to break the Lorenz code, which was a cipher machine used by the German High Command. And it does a pure statistical attack on bit patterns. It doesn't look at letters or words or anything. And it is pure statistical based on patterns, bit patterns. And you do a test, you put the message through, which is on the paper tape, you put it through the machine, and it's all set up using logic gates, and you count the number of times you've seen what you're looking for, and at the end of the message you have a statistical account, and that's what is shown on the lamps. And if the count is significant and the machine's set up properly, it will actually print out the statistics relating to some of the wheel settings that you're trying to break. So what you see in front of you now, it's the attack's called double delta, which probably means nothing to you, but the setting up of the double delta is done on the switches there. This is the message. It's running on the bedstead. As you can see, it's paper tape, 5-bit paper tape. This is the fastest paper tape machine that's ever been built. It runs at 5,000 characters a second. When the original machine was built, which was in 1943, they had no idea how fast they could run the tape, and they actually ran it just under 10,000 characters a second, and the machine ran, but the paper tape disintegrated. So it's run at half maximum speed, which is 5,000 characters a second. What you see around the back here on that back rack, that is all the inputs that's coming in from the bit streams off the paper tape. And it's got a little bit of clever, what we call FIFO, first in, first out latches, and that enables the machine to run fast time, 5 times faster than the speed of the paper tape. Further on, which we're just going to see in a minute, come on, move on, that's it. These are the Pyrotrons. There are 501 of these, and these simulate the 12 wheels of the Lorenz machine, which is the device we're trying to break. So those Pyrotrons simulate the patterns that are stored on the 12 wheels of the Lorenz. And the amount of current that they're consuming is, when it's running normally like that, it's 750 amps heater current, but it's only 4 volts. But there's quite a bit of current there, hence the large number of transformers. Those grey boxes that you see there are 50 volt power supplies. All the power supplies on the machine are 50 volts, bar one. And they are basically Strauger power supplies, standard 50 volt power supplies. And the HT plus HT maximum on that is 200 volts. But it is running near enough 4 amps. So you can get a bit of a belt off it. If you stick your hand in the bedstead, which is a part of the paper tape, which you don't want to do, the valves there actually are running at 400 volts, and that burns, I can assure you. What you see there is a patch panel, and that's basically used for testing. You've got to remember, this machine was originally designed in 1944. These are the controllers for the Pyrotrons. Using 803s. I think there's about 70 of them. My memory serves me correct. And you can see there's one of the transformers there, 12 volt heater transformer. Here's a close up of one of the controllers. All hand built by the team. 50 volt power supply. I'll come back out. Just to finish off, you think you've seen some valves? No. This is the real valve. This is a transmission valve that came out of Rugby transmission station. And that was a 16 kilohertz transmitter. And that valve there has 2 heaters, and each one is 390 amps. So it's a bit of a beast. And there you go. So there you've got a nice view at the front of it. It's housed at the National Museum of Computing, which is in Bletchley. And if any of you guys ever take a trip, let me know, and I'll give you a personal tour around the museum, and I'll show you and run Colossus for you. So right, let me go back to my desk cam. So there we are. So you've seen a bit of Colossus. So yeah, I think that's it for me for now. And I'm going to hand it over to Martin. So I'm going to put my test card up. So it's over to you then, Martin. This is M0.
Well, I was a bit early. You're making me get ready early. Well, right, hold on. It's 31 degrees in my shack, so I'm sat here without a t-shirt on. Not that you really wanted to know that. So I had to quickly put a t-shirt on. But anyway, there you go. Look at that. That's my cows. Just for you, Martin. Just for you. We just had a massive downpour of rain. And I had to bring the camera in that normally sits out on the ledge. So it's perched up against the window. But there's one bull amongst all of those. There's one bull. So he has a good time, doesn't he? Oh dear. What's it like to be a bull with lots of cows? Anyway, all good. I hope you guys can see me and hear me. I presume you can. So no one's saying you can't. So that's good. Anyway, good to see you guys. I don't think I've been on for a few weeks. I've been actually quite busy and with various different things. But yeah, one of the things that I'll talk about is the amplifier that I built. I'm using it now. It's working fine. Hopefully it will continue to work as well. But yeah, interesting. That Colossus machine, Phil, that's it looks amazing. I think you said that it took you guys, is it 14 years to like restore it? The question that popped into my mind, and I don't know if you actually said this when you was doing your voiceover, I might have missed it. But how long did it originally take to build? Like, you know, like when they first built it back in what would it have been, World War II era? How long did it take to build, I wonder? But yeah, interesting. Peter, your picture's looking spot on as usual. Looking very good. I almost feel like you're about to announce the news with all your fancy graphics and stuff, but it looks very good. And thank you to Gary for hosting the net as well. I know there's not many people on today, but I guess everybody's doing their fatherly thing. Well, my son is asleep. Oh, 1943 took 9 months. Oh, wow. Well, I suppose they had to kind of do it fairly quick because, well, I say fairly quick because, well, obviously they couldn't spend 14 years making it because the war would have been over. But anyway, all good in the hood. So I'll just quickly show you. Some of you have probably seen this already. So to make sure you still hear my audio. So this is the amp, and this is the. Oh, why is that doing that? I don't want it to do that. So there we go. So this is the amp that I've been building, and this is the amp that I'm currently using right now. So that's the Ereon palette that I got, rated at 250 watts CW, and yeah, it works. I've done a video series on this on my YouTube channel, and I had lots of input from various different people. A lot of people had concerns about how hot it would work. One thing that was quite interesting was if you look on the left side here, there's some little plastic pillars. Well, originally I put a little buck converter there to convert the 28 volts that comes in down to 12 volts to power the fans. So I've got 2 fans on top, but they're 12 volt. And then someone said, well, why don't you just put them in series? And okay, they'll be a little bit over voltage, but at least you won't have to worry about a buck converter. So I did that, and it's the fans are running fine. In fact, the cooling on this amp is amazing. Actually, it works extremely well. So that's the back end of it. Power going in, RF output on an N type. That's the power cable that goes through to the 2 fans on the top. That spin quite nicely. That's the front of it. Where I've got an enable switch, and then obviously input, RF input, and then that is a 1-wire sensor. So you've got 5 volts going in to a sensor which is attached to the heatsink, and then there's a 1-wire which goes off to the 1-wire interface on the Raspberry Pi, and then that provides me with an accurate temperature of the heatsink right next to where the aluminium block of the pallet fixes onto. And at the current moment, it's sitting at 34 degrees Celsius, but it is in my conservatory, and it's extremely warm and muggy outside. Like I said, it's about 31 degrees here in my shack, and I'm absolutely sweltering. And that's probably because I've got it soundproofed in here, and the computer's chucking out lots of hot air as well. And then that's it, just resting on top of the cover of the hot tub in the conservatory, with a isolator there. It's an inline isolator, and the coupler, and then obviously it's just a sensor that I built to give me a rough estimate of the power coming out, and that's it. So yeah, and it seems to be working quite well. Obviously you guys can see the pattern of the transmission, and from whom did I purchase the amp? I built it, Peter. I built the amp. The pallet itself, the actual pallet in the middle, the main board in the middle, came from a company called eReon. They sent it to me via a company, SV1AFN. So if you go to sv1afn.com, they sent it to me via him. I can't remember his name now. I should know his name. And the whole purpose for receiving it was to do a video series on it and to get it working. But anyway, as I was saying, if you guys look at the shoulders, I think it looks pretty clean to me. To me, it looks all right. I can't see any nasty issues. One thing that I did actually have a bit of an issue with, wasn't really an issue, but this particular amplifier requires a lot higher input for it to generate a signal that was on par with my other one. And so obviously I didn't change my driver at all. Everything was the same. But one thing that I did do was where I've got my driver, it's an AMSAT driver board that's connected to the Pluto. From that to an N-type socket on my 2U chassis, there's like a little short stub of about, I don't know, maybe about 5 centimeters of small thin coax. Anyway, so what I did was I connected the feeder cable that goes directly to the amp directly to the box where the driver is, and that gave me a few extra milliwatts, enough to give me a fairly good signal on here. I mean, I'm running my DATV slider at about 80% at the moment, so 80 out of 100. So it can go a lot stronger, a lot higher. And according to my power meter, it's saying about 63 watts. So yeah, so there we go. Anyway, good to see everybody on, and I know there's not everybody's probably off doing stuff, aren't they? SV1afn.com, I think. I'll double check that in a moment for you, Peter. I'll double check it, but yeah, all good. Right, I'll put it around to Martin. Hopefully, I presume you got your audio sorted now, Martin. I think you said in the chat that that your audio is back to normal, so I can now put my desk fan back on, and I'll pass it over to G8KOE, King of England, and you can say a quick hello to the cows as my out test card. Catch you on the next round.
Right, is it working? That's the big question. Have I got sound? Can I mute it? Yep, we have. The meter's moving. I had to reboot OBS. I think it's probably because I'd been playing with the ppm meter, which looks at VB audio cable. I don't know. But anyway, a reboot of that. Let's try and yeah, CalCam, absolutely superb. Have you written a program yet to actually plot and count the movement of the cows, to see where they cluster, etc., and the movement of the bull in particular would be interesting. Chew their filth, Colossus, absolutely superb video. That's much better than the
portrait one you did last time. That's brilliant. Thank you very much. It's somewhere I never got to see. I kept meaning to. Yeah, I always meant to get to see it, but whether I manage it now, I'm too lazy down here in Somerset. Don't like driving, I must admit, anymore, as old age creeps in. So that's that. What else? Oh yeah, no, Leon's not around, but he was complaining, well not complaining, but he was pointing out that the lock light on his receive program, which was the original one that everybody uses in general, apart from us that have moved on to other things. The industrial standard, shall I say. I wasn't using that, so I didn't have a lock light to look at. But I found that the reason was I'd set the roll off to a lot lower, which didn't show up as a particular problem in the actual picture I'm putting out, but did show up with this not always a hard lock. So that was the reason there. Had me going for a while. Couldn't think what I'd done, but it's something I'd played with and I hadn't noticed anything on the picture. So just progressed on with it. Sound syncer I've been sort of playing with a little bit. The first thing I did was to use my naff little tablet thing I've got and put the one of the programs on it, and thought, well, if I pointed the camera at it, played the program, listened to the sound through the microphone, then that would be the normality, and that was probably where I should set things up. Now, I don't know what it's going to be like now, he says. Now this is a different program. I probably should be using the same program. He says, as I will be using in a minute. Come on. Let's see whether there's a difference between the two different programs. Now that one's not so good in the reflection of me, but anyway, so I did that. That's what I did the initial tests. So let's stop that. Come on, stop. Anyway, let's go over to back to me. That will stop in a minute. It's beginning to become annoying, isn't it? Chunk. Come on. It's a really naff tablet. Wish I'd never purchased it. It was cheap and cheerful. So then this morning with Gary was I'd just taken the video file MP4 and playing it back via OBS Direct. So we'll do that now and see what the results are. This morning it was good, but now it's probably going to be all over the place. Right, so people haven't gone totally mad, but yeah, you can all pretty good. Oh, thank you very much. But I expected there to be a big difference because I'm using OBS 29 with the VB audio cable, DATV Easy, using an NVIDIA graphics card, and it's set to plus 400, and it doesn't shift. It sticks around about quite happy, week in, week out. It's probably been like that for a couple of months now. So there we go. And the other thing that I did spend more money, probably ever since the demonstration by Matt that he was taking his online locally. I haven't implemented it yet, but I should be asking. Yeah, that's interesting. Matt. So, as Matt's an expert on setting these up, I may be needing his assistance. I shan't be combining it in, so don't answer any emails there, Matt. I'll make silly mistakes. The other thing that I spent and asked him last time, I think, was about cat flaps, which asked him which one he'd use, and of course he said he doesn't use a cat flap. But anyway, I had to progress with the cat flap sort of problem, etc. But the door that I wanted to bring the cats in and out of is fairly high up anyway, so I've had to make some assistance for them to be able to get in and out that way. I haven't trained them yet to go that way, but this is my cat flap so far, complete with a ramp, and the whole assembly can be moved quite easily when the cat flap's not going to be used. Cat flaps mainly ideas for if I go out that they can don't have to lock them in, etc. So that's door with cat flap, not big enough for humans, but as there's another lot going on, thought we'd show that. Is there anything else that I meant to? Yeah, fine on your train journey as well there, Phil. I didn't comment on that. I bet that was good. Quite interesting. At some stage I'll get to talk to you and find out a few more little stories, etc. Have I shown everything I've got? Probably. Yep. Right. And sorry that I woke you up there, Matt. It's good when someone throws it totally at you, isn't it? My PA is sitting at 32 degrees at the moment and drawing 10 amps, just over 10 amps, and guesstimated sort of 50 watts, I reckon. I should think your amp is much more efficient. The other thing, the ppm meter that I'm using at the moment, it's the digital one. The analog one stopped working and I could never get it to work again. It just wouldn't point to the VB audio cable because I did have some problems. But anyway, installed this one, which is done from exactly the same company as the other ones, and it found the settings straight away. I didn't have to do anything, so it must be stored somewhere. But it is a bit beyond me. Lots of headroom, yeah. Oh dear. Right. Over to net controller. Oh, I've wound up enough, I think, today already. But it'll be ready anyway, ready to go, so I can sort of just drop it suddenly quickly and it'll pick it up. But I will stick a test card and be kind from GHK.
Yeah, I couldn't detect any difference in synchronization between the real one off the program and the one that you did with the camera. So great. Firstly, a few things. I got a message from Benno, Papa Alpha 3 Fox Bravo X-ray. He said the second TS board is working very well. It'll cost approximately €10 on DigiKey, excluding shipping costs. But he will publish something on the BATC forum this week. So we can look forward to hearing what Benno's got to say. His boards are working, everything's working well. So that's good for those that want to follow Tom's nice program. So you can view two different stations at the same time. And then Martin, yeah, that was great on the clap test. That worked well. And thanks for that. And thanks for the email. I'm going to certainly try that for sure. As someone said, that's maybe the reason why we got banned on the other YouTube channel. I don't think so. I think it's because I put Leslie on and asked him to do the test. And I think they objected to the fact that he's a child and I believe it's not a children's program or something. But anyway, I was hoping it would be for a week, but it's more than a week. So we shall see when it ever comes on, if ever. So we'll go on this channel, unfortunately. Then Phil, hey man, that was a really, really, really great piece again. And this time the videos are perfect. Even previous time it was great. But I must say your quality of the video was superb. And interesting, just day before yesterday, it was Friday, we had a public holiday, or you call it a bank holiday. I saw a very, very interesting program regarding the whole Bletchley Park saga from beginning to end. Now, I have been to Bletchley Park, so it was very interesting to see that again and to know that you've been in the very buildings and the very huts that they're talking about. But I certainly thought of you during that. And then they mentioned the Lorentz code. And then they found something interesting. They found that the Lorentz code had to work on the older Enigma machines. So they came up with some plan where they just dropped off the last two and they had little pieces of paper sliding up and down until they could figure out the pattern. So the human brain is still something fantastic. But indeed, it was remarkable what the guys did. Okay, I saw something from Ed on the WhatsApp. I'll get it now. But it was remarkable. And then they said they went up to 60 miles per hour with the tape before the tape disintegrated. And then they came down to half the speed. So that's what this program said. And there was some interesting chaps on the program that are probably passed on by now. But they were involved with the Bletchley Park thing. And then noted on the potty, yeah, I've made my potties out of brass, and I've actually tuned it. I had to recalculate the dimensions and also where you place your feed point, your little, I've put an N-type connector onto my potty. So I had to reposition that to get circular polarization, but to get 50 ohm and to get the thing resonant. And on the television band. So I've got it centered on our TV band, not quite this frequency. The Q's quite high now. So I'm not running at maximum efficiency on this particular band. However, I have got a power meter on, and at the moment I'm running 16 watts. 16 watts, that's out of the amp. I'm running 28 volt, and at the moment I'm running exactly 5 amps. So it's quite an efficient amp. Quite happy with that. To come back. So no, we're quite satisfied. That's working well. Matt, your amp's working well. The shoulders are beautiful. There's absolutely no problem. It's a very clean signal. So you can be very proud of that. And working very, very well indeed. Okay, just upped it now to 19 watts. Okay, a little bit more. There we go. I'm now 25 watt. It shows you. Let me just go back to, there we go. I'm 23 watt. Let me just show you. And that's now genuinely taken off the power meter. So it's not, you know, design, shall we say, electronically produced. It is, of course, but it's the real. I've got a little easy cam on that, and so you can see where we are. I'm just playing with the output power there. So it's working well, and also no regrowth at the bottom, and a nice tight signal. So I'm quite happy with that. Anyway, I think I've made all the announcements with old Benno there, and we just wish to thank everyone that has been on. We'll go one more over, and then we'll call it a day, make it a short evening or a short afternoon. So let us go back to the top, and that's to you, Peter, sir. GW7BZY to take it from ZS6 Yankee India.
Okay. Audio. Hopefully synchronized. Yeah, great stuff. The comment I did actually see your grandson. It appeared sometime. I can't remember. It wasn't the day that it was due to be watched. It wasn't a Sunday, put it that way. And I saw you on a little bit. I think it was at work, and I got a message on my phone that the Cure 100 was active. So I had a look in, and then a little bit later I saw you. I saw your grandson. And then I'd heard that you had trouble, and I thought, well, that would be the case. But actually, my comment really was Matt's and Martin's talk of bulls and cows and things, which Israel was joking, obviously. But yeah, I thought that might be the reason you got a problem, because YouTube very funny about that kind of thing. Quite rightly, I'd say. Let's turn my power up a little bit, I think. I'm losing signal here. Oh, come on. We'll lose that. There we go. Yeah, I'm interested in the palette. I meant to say palette. Apologies, Matt. I know you built the amplifier, but the palette. The amplifier is great here. Works really well. I think this one Jim built. And done a good job, and it does. I think the signal looks pretty good. I don't know if it's as narrow and sharp as some of yours, but certainly works well. And I have the same preamp as you're using there, Matt. I've actually got a spare one here. I built one, and I've still got a spare one because I kill stuff. But I think if it's LDMOS, I believe I've read that they can handle poor swars up to 65 to 1. So durable is the word for LDMOS. So shouldn't really have much problem. But I think I should build another amplifier, or have build an amplifier just for spares, because you know the 77 antenna had a Nokia which was I converted, and I sold it, and of course, you know, the people that supplied the old amplifier had died, and it wasn't available anymore. So, you know, availability can be an issue. So that's another thing. You need to get it while it's going, isn't it? I'm saying for the parts for these Winter Hills and stuff. If you like the look of it, buy it then, because parts probably won't be available by the time you get round to it. That's it. I've got no more to say about things. Great. Thank you for bringing me in, and Gary and everybody else. Live from Wales. Very cloudy today. That's about all I've got to say about it, really. It's not all that nice. And we'll catch you sometime, maybe not next weekend, maybe the weekend after. I can't remember what shift I'm on. There we are. Oh, back to you. I'm forgetting who's next. I'm missing some people. I think the guy that's next with the needs to put a little bit more power on. I missed the Colossus and the associated bit because his signal just dropped out on me. I know I don't have a particularly good receive here, and I'll have to buy a dish at some point, maybe a little bigger. Maybe 1.2 is what I fancy, but the wife won't have it. So I might have to find a measurement of the dish that I have. It's meant to be a 1 metre dish, but I have a feeling it's a 90 centimetre. With that, I'll hand it over to whoever from GW7BZY. I'll just... Again, there's me camera. That's the camera I'm using at the moment, by the way. That's the Sony PMW 350. There we are. Thanks for the report, Mike, Matt, on the image. GW7BZY. Back to the group. Can I get it to work? Yes, I can.
Right, here we go. A little bit more power, Peter. Right, here we go. Yeah, a little bit more power. Let's turn the audio off. Don't want any more feedback. Gary, you're potty. Yeah, I mean, you've done a good job on that. I am thinking of building another one. I've got the bits to do it. I've got the brass, plenty of tube. But I'm definitely thinking of building another one. I think it could be more efficient than what it is. And because I've taken it, I'm not taking it apart, because I've resoldered it, I'm not very happy. I mean, between the two plates inside, it's perfect. On the outside, it's a bit of a mess. Well, I consider it a mess. But inside, it's pretty clean, which it needs to be. So I might have a go. I might have a go and bite the bullet and build myself another potty. And you also mentioned about dragging two sets of code or letters or whatever. That is a technique. It was used on the Enigma, and a similar technique was also used on the Lorenz. But the two codes are totally separate, and the actual techniques don't migrate from one to the other. They're totally different. But yes, they did use that technique, that dragging technique, and in actual fact, the Americans built the first one and shipped it over to Bletchley Park for doing that very job, and it was called Dragon. But it was very unreliable and it was extremely noisy. Allegedly, it did actually catch fire. Allegedly, there's no proof of that, but allegedly it caught fire. But people in Bletchley Park were not happy with the American version, so they actually went to GPO at Dollis Hill to build a British Dragon, and that's what they did. But at the end of the war, the original Dragon, the American Dragon that the British didn't use at the end, when Bletchley Park disbanded, they've got an American machine and it's got to be shipped back to America because it's not owned by the British. So it was crated up and it was actually shipped back to the States. And it actually resides today in one of the NSA warehouses in America. I've got photographs of all the crates, that some of them have been opened up. So it does actually exist. It's not in any operational state, but the original Dragon does still exist in the NSA warehouse somewhere. Anyhow, that's Dragon. Potty, yeah, fantastic. But for you guys who are really sweltering in your shacks, now, mine's 28.1 in here. But I thought I'd just show you this, just to heat you up a bit. This is an absolutely brilliant way of testing your video stream, because the content is constantly changing, and it really gives it a tremendous workout, and I'm looking at what I'm receiving, and yeah, it is pixelating in places, which is to be expected. But yeah, it makes you feel nice and warm. So I suppose I better shut it off, and I should get loads of complaints from you guys. Well, I don't really have much else to say, really, because I haven't really been doing any TV stuff because my potty's been in bits. Been down the park, as I've said. Yeah, so I think I should call this my last over, I think. So, yeah, so I think I'm going to hand it back. So I'm going to hand it back to you, Martin. Maybe if my potty's intact, we'll have a chat during the week. But let's put my test card up. Here's my test card. Oh, by the way, I've got this one. I've got this as well. Really, I should have done this at the beginning, shouldn't I? Thought you might like that. I've also got a proper clapperboard coming. Could have made one, but I couldn't be bothered. But there you go. Let's put my ugly mug back up. That's me. Test card, and then I shall hand it over to Martin. This is M0PIT. This is going to be my final, so I should say 73s.
Right. Have we got sound? Have we broken it? The meter's moving. So I think we have. Yeah, following your potty takes me back to I got the first kit I got, potty kit, which was quite thin actually, the material, but it came and you had to assemble it, and I think I've got a picture of it. That's it. Now, when I first assembled it, it didn't work. In fact, it was not very good at all. I hadn't realised what I'd done, but as you probably know, I'm sort of suffer with dyslexia, and the habit of building things in mirror image, which also on the cat flap, when I was measuring the piece of wood to match up with the door, I neatly marked all the bits that I should cut out, but they were all the bits that I should have left. Anyway, we overcame that problem. But I'll call it the driven element part of it, the front plate. I mounted it the wrong way, upside down. I'd put it on. So the little corner cut pieces and that were totally wrong. So I had to take it apart and re-put it back together again, and heat everything up. And anyway, that's what I was using until recently, which I ordered, and I did put a little horn on the front of that because that was on the prime focus dish. Actually, it probably is, if I move on. Oh, yeah, that's not very good, but that's what it ended up with. I cut the end off of a 22mm adapter piece, which just gave it a little sort of horn arrangement, and then put a little cap on the end. That's how it sat with the little hood over it, which was obviously an ice cream thing for ages. But since then I've invested in another one, which was a German one, which came already assembled, and that was a lot more solid. I don't think I've got a picture of that to hand, but you probably know the one. It says, oh, that, maybe I can find it. No, it's going to have to go back a long way, aren't I? No, I'll ignore that for now. Don't ever do something when you haven't sort of thought it through. But yeah, that came, was really solid. So quite humid with that, but that had really pointed lens on it. It was a sort of double pointed arrangement, and that was totally useless, absolutely useless. Now you need to sort out your receive side there, Peter. It's about time you sorted out your dish. You know, you keep saying you're going to, but you don't. So I'm not going to put any more coals on the fire. I'm running 10 amps at the moment. That's the maximum I'm going to run. And probably running about 50 watts into my dish. And I'm getting myself back 3.3 on a 1.1 metre dish. So sort your receive out. And your potty your LNB must be way off. So I'm sort of wasting myself. I'm talking to myself, which you won't hear it. But I think Matt has also said that. But if you can't even watch your own signals, then not good, is it? I lost my train of thought now and looked on the chat back. Anyway, I found it a good net, and thank you for the cow cam. And hope nobody commented on the cat flap, which I thought was not bad. Something else was and yeah, as I said there, Matt will try and be able to monitor offline. One thing I was going to comment on was Open Tuner, which is what I'm using at the moment. I did have all sorts of problems with it, locking up or dropping out, etc. Since I've rehashed things on the computer and increased the let's go over to that camera. Since I've put a couple of USB hubs in, which are quite great, they seem to work out well for me, powered ones. I've got spare capacity and it's neatened up everything, and I've mounted them alongside the computer so I can easily get to them alongside my little mate that's there. It's been absolutely stable as can be. I think it's probably I had too many other things connected, receiver wise, etc. So I was trying to run about 3 different receive programs. So now I tend to use the Open Tuner most of the time because it's convenient with the chat in it, particularly. And I'm hoping that one can point the off-air monitor side of things to be used within Open Tuner. Once I've got it working, then I'll have a word with Tom and see whether it's easy to do, or maybe it is still easy to do and I just don't understand. I can get very lost on the networking side of things. But yeah, it's almost a different program since I've tidied things up. So the fault was not with the program; it was with I think what I had going on the computer this end. Anyway, and to Phil, yeah, try and catch you during the week. I shall be around, without a doubt, and have further chat. But those pictures and Colossus, etc., absolutely superb. And your knowledge seems is very good indeed. So thank you for passing all the information on. Right, now I'll give you plenty of warning this time, Matt, so you can put your t-shirt on, switch off the fan, get the cow cam ready, and it's over to you from G8KOE.
Hello. Okay, so the cows have hello. The cows have gone. I don't know where they are. It's disappointing. I was quite happily sat here watching the cows. Anyway, enough of that. All good in the hood. Right, okay. So, yeah, great to see everybody on. And bit of a short and sweet net this week. But, yeah, I do watch each week. And if there's like a massive load of people on, then I kind of bail out a little bit and just sit and watch. if I don't have anything mega important to say, really. But no, Phil, I wonder. Obviously, you're not going to come back to me on this, but I'm pretty sure you probably said this as well. But yeah, the Bletchley Park is not too far from me. It's well, it's just kind of up the road, really, maybe 45 minutes. And I've never been to Bletchley Park, and I'd absolutely love to go. So I think I'll probably try and get myself up there actually sometime and have a good look around. I had thought about doing like a video for my YouTube channel of Bletchley Park, but I don't think I will. I think I'd like to go just for myself, really, just to have a look and not have a camera and just take it all in. Because sometimes when you take a camera with you and try and film stuff, you kind of miss it. You're looking at everything through a screen or a lens, But yeah, it's definitely something that I want to go and go have a look. No problem, Martin, on the R2. Give it a go. Follow Tom's instructions on his website. And if you get stuck or got any questions, just drop me an email. And we can get it working for you. It's not a problem. I quite like it, actually. It's quite nice being able to see the whole wideband spectrum, knowing that it's what I'm actually receiving. Sometimes I do question if things are working properly, but no, it's good. It's and the R2s are not exactly cheap, are they? So it would be nice if it worked with like something like an RTO SDR. I know the bandwidth isn't big enough on the RTO SDR, but I'm pretty sure. I think Leon mentioned that Tom was working on something for him. So this one, Mike, he was saying that he was going to work on something where he could use like a cheap RTO SDR, because they're like $20. They're like, 20 quid. They're extremely cheap. So, but yeah, it's all good. What else was I going to say? I think that's pretty much it, really. I don't think there's much else to say. I mean, I could probably waffle on for quite some time about various different projects that I've been looking at and I'm working on. We can probably save that for another time, because it is like, well, it's 30.4 degrees in my shack at the moment, and I do appreciate the fire there, Phil. That warmed my cockles up to no end. But anyway, yes, Phil, definitely, yeah. In the week, I do when I'm sat in my office here working, I do keep an eye on the transponder to see who's about. So if I see you pop up, I'll jump on and say hello. I know a few times me, Martin, and Peter, BZY, we sometimes have a three-way chat, which can kind of get amusing, especially with the delay. But it's all good. But anyway, okay, guys. I think Gary was still there. I don't think he said he was going, so I'll put it back to Gary to close the net, and hopefully I'll see you all guys next week. So take care. And no, the cows are not there. They are literally gone to have some fun. Right, catch you later, guys, next week. M0 DQW.
Okay, 100% there, Matt. It reminds me of the young bull and the old bull with all those cows. Same story like you've got there. And the young bull said to the old bull, "Let's climb in quickly." And the old bull said, "Slowly, slowly, slowly. We can do them all." So there we go. Anyway, I'm going to close the net. Oh yeah, I just wanted to comment on the cat trap. They are very well done. Your mechanical skills are remarkable, Martin. Everything's well done and precise and excellent. And also the LNB there, well done. Right, with that, I'm going to close the net. Wish everyone a very happy week. Hopefully next week, this time, we're back on our normal YouTube channel. I just used mine in the meantime to get going. But we only had 15 views today, but, everyone's probably busy with Father's Day as well. And once again, we wish all the fathers a very happy Father's Day. And we'll see each other next week. So this is ZS6YI closing down this frequency, opening it up for general use. 7-3 to all.